We should be live, waiting on counter to tick up, and we confirm we're live. Okay, should be live. So cool. Welcome everyone to another live stream. This is the Monday live stream. It's part of Bacon DAO, and every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we do this call at around this time, around noontime PST or 12 p.m. PST, 7 p.m. UTC. And yeah, every 3 times a week, every week, we go over the market, covering Bitcoin, Ethereum, Bitcoin dominance, TA, which are the main drivers for the how to be positioned in the market. Factors, okay. And then we have all the altcoin narratives, what's going on, what am I looking at, and yeah, just a lot of Q&As. So yeah, let's get straight into it. We should be well and ongoing. Just let me know if sound is bad at all. If not, I'll just assume it's good. I see my icon light up. So let's go into Bitcoin first. And let me just bring up the charts, share screen here. Okay. So first off, with Bitcoin, looking at weekly. So I have been quite, to be honest, quite conservative for the past week or so, especially in this weekly candle that we had from November 1st to November 8th, because this was a fresh breakout above previous all-time high at 60K, right? We saw 2 candle closes where it was very indecisive. The third one here was also quite indecisive, even over the weekend. But coming into Monday, been looking really good, especially after this bounce, right? You see the 60K level is a whole level, which is a psychologically important level at 60K. It's also the highest close we had here. Back in, what is this? April. So now that we have closed above that on the weekly and bounced from it, that also gives us the daily bounce as well, right? Where we had a bit of consolidation, but it did not show a fake out at all. In fact, we bounced from that level and have cleared it. And now pretty much touching the previous all-time high, even on this fake out, supposedly fake out, but now most likely breakout. So yeah, this is honestly a really good sign. I was pretty uneasy over the weekend, over the past, let's say 2 weeks or so, especially in this range, because just market is extremely overheated, right? With new projects, Immutable launching at 10 billion market cap. You have likes of Mirror Circle with pretty much no product, and just similar concept as YGG launching at 7 billion market cap, right? So it was getting quite overheated. So I was pretty hesitant to take major bets in this range. Not saying that necessarily in that range it's going to end the market. Quite the contrary. I just thought I had to be ready in case this was a short-term fake out and we have a bigger dip. But it seems like that isn't even the case, and we are already soaring to almost all-time high here. So I wouldn't be more worried, but definitely it's going to be more volatile is now what we can know for sure. And this is not necessarily a bad sign. It just means that things are even starting to accelerate even more. So yeah, that's that. Now that we've had this, right? So what are we looking at on the daily? Which is ever since 30K, right? We had higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. I would say this is a new higher low, right? So, and especially now that we are just about to clear this previous higher high here. So given this, the uptrend is even better than last week, right? Last week when we were in this consolidation range, it was not that clear. But now that we have bounced from the previous all-time high retest, this is really good. So that sets the tone for what's gonna go on for probably the next few weeks, maybe 1 month, which is even more up only. I wish it weren't this way. I wish we cool down for a bit. but it's not looking like that. So yeah, just got to trade with a trend, which is clearly up only right now. So I definitely would not like take on any like major, convinced bet short-term trade on Bitcoin. This is absolutely the worst time to do that because we are in new price discovery. It's going to swing much larger than anything we've had below 60K, right? So any sort of leverage or overexposed position you're taking is extra risky right now than before, than the past 3 months. So definitely do not take on more risk. However, if you are still bearish in these new price discovery, I don't know what to say. Like you are going to lose money. So definitely take the bearish mindsets out of your head and be positioned on the bullish side, on the long side, but reduce your risk, right? Just because the uptrend is clear and accelerating doesn't mean you need to take on more risk. Because at some point, nothing goes up forever, right? Even if short-term corrections, right? Nothing goes up forever. So when things start to accelerate and potentially start to print parabolas, you want to be on the right side, but scale back your risk such that the faster and faster it starts to accelerate, the less and less risk you have. That's the process and the mindset you need to have in order to be able to keep the gains when it eventually sees some sort of correction, right? Otherwise, if you just become more and more convinced and you put on more and more sides, take on more and more risk as it becomes, increasingly accelerating, that the only one result that you can end with that is liquidation, right? So do not be like that. Even though I myself personally, I'm very convinced in this uptrend with this new price discovery. That doesn't mean I'm putting down more sides. Quite the contrary, I want to just be long, but consider my risks even more and more, right? So that's a kind of basis based on Bitcoin. Yeah, and kind of my strategy with that is, okay, I want to be long, so I don't want to be holding. I want to have positive exposure in crypto in general, but I want to scale into less risky assets as this thing starts to run more and more, right? So I'm not going to take stable coins, but Bitcoin and Ethereum are really good long-term bets, right? And they are two coins that I'm very comfortable holding even in major corrections because I'm that convinced in them to even if it drops 50% today, I don't care. That has nothing to do with Bitcoin or Ethereum's fundamentals. By this point, I'm more than convinced about that. So really doesn't matter how much it drops. Like I'm perfectly okay and will not be swung out of my bags. I can't really say that for other altcoins. So that's why as this thing starts to accelerate, I will begin to take more and more profits from risky altcoins into Bitcoin and Ethereum. Specific allocations will vary depending on your portfolio. But if you have been considering, right, this is now the best time to start to formulate a plan for yourself. Yeah, I don't think me giving like guidelines as to how much percentage of your portfolio should be in Bitcoin is any useful, because depending on your situation, right? If your whole life savings is in this, I'd be super careful already. I'd probably be in all Bitcoin and try to consider taking profits into stables already. If it's only a tiny portion of your portfolio, obviously you can still risk quite a next month, 2 months or so, right? So it really depends on your financial situation. That I don't know, so I don't think even talking about what I'm doing makes much sense, because that's literally, people will interpret that the wrong way and not consider what's best for themselves, right? What's best for me, even if I'm taking a lot of risk, might not be the best for you. What I can say is, giving this current move, if you are still considering increasing leverage because you're more and more confident now, that's a bad idea, right? If anything, everyone should be considering, okay, it's starting to accelerate. It's going to be pretty crazy couple of months. How do I decrease that risk, right, as time goes on? That's what I think is good for everyone, right? So, yeah. Okay, that's Bitcoin, a bit longer than usual, but yeah. Moving on to Ethereum. Pretty much just price discovery without even seeing. Yeah. So again, really not much to say here. Can this see a potential pullback to previous all-time high, right? See a 12% drop before it bounces majorly? Sure. Should you count on that? Not really. Is it worth it to count on that? Not really either, right? I just see Bitcoin and Ethereum as pretty much the base case for my exposure right now in this kind of later stage of this bull run. Not much to say beyond that. Personally, right, I'd be happy with like 2.5, maybe 3x Ethereum from here, and then Bitcoin maybe like 2.5x. So my take profit targets that I'll be happy with, regardless of if it's a bull market end or not, will be like something like 12K for Ethereum. No, yeah, 12K for Ethereum, maybe 150K for Bitcoin. Yeah. Keep in mind, just because I have those numbers doesn't mean that it's going to shoot straight from 4.7K to 12K with no stop. No, quite the contrary. As we are in all-time high discovery now, price discovery, things are only going to get more and more volatile. So you see these moves back here, right, where Ethereum dropped from 4K to 2.7, 30%. It's going to swing even more violent. So it might go to 5K, drop to 4K in a day, go to 7K, drop to 6K in a day, like this, and more volatile as it starts becoming more parabolic and higher levels. So this is what I can pretty much tell you is going to happen, is very, very violent swings until we reach some sort of like top level, both for Ethereum and Bitcoin. So just because I have those take profit targets doesn't mean that I'm just putting all my money into this and like ready to cash it all out at 12K. No, I'm scaling it back and very ready to take on all kinds of emotional swings over the next few months. That I can pretty comfortably tell you that it's going to happen. So yes, I have price targets, but I'm setting those targets so that I know at some point I'm okay to just like completely de-risk. I'm not setting those price targets to give myself even more hopium. So I think it's gonna go there just instantly. No. I think it's gonna be very, very hard, pretty much extremely difficult for people to hold on in these next few months as it becomes very volatile. So yeah, do not interpret that in the wrong way, right? Yes, I think it will reach probably 12K and Bitcoin 150K, but I think the majority of people, if you only look at those high numbers and feed yourself hopium, you will end up wrecking yourself, right? So yeah, make sure you interpret that properly. And if knowing those numbers and seeing all these like price predictions gives you like more hope and makes you want to put more and more money in, you should probably stop looking for price predictions. Instead, look for the other more grounded type of analysis to give yourself that kind of mindset to scale back the risk. Because in the end, it's not about, okay, what can Bitcoin hit? Even if you know Bitcoin is going to hit something, it doesn't necessarily mean you can hold until then and not be wiped, right? So it's really about what's the best kind of thinking and strategy and the type of content you consume that can help you make the most money, right? You don't want to know what can Bitcoin reach the highest amount, because that might not mean that might not be a good thing for you. So if you are getting very euphoric, maybe tune back the hopium content you consume. But if you are iffy, definitely don't try to short, right? Maybe consume these type of content. For me personally, I don't want to put like too high targets in my mind, because it's becoming that stage where if I look at those and I just want to go for that stretch goal, that's very risky for me personally. Yeah. So that's Ethereum. Obviously, it's in price discovery now, there's really not much I can say, right? Holding Bitcoin and Ethereum till those price levels, but fully expecting like 30% swings, multiple of them in the next like 3 months. Just because it's going to be pretty crazy. Yeah. Okay. Moving on to Bitcoin dominance. Let me just make sure that cool. Moving on to Bitcoin dominance, BTC.D. And guys, questions will be in the end. So in about like 25, 30 minutes from now. So Bitcoin dominance is, as Bitcoin and Ethereum is seeing a surge, Bitcoin dominance is seeing a small bounce back right here for the past 2 days. I'm pretty exposed in Ethereum and alts, so not really much that I can act on here. Now, if this move comes all the way up to something like here, right, where Bitcoin sees major rally, or if we get some sort of like what we had down here with this head and shoulders, right, inverse head and shoulders, excuse me. If we get some sort of pattern like this, and especially if it breaks out, I might take more profits from alts and put them into Bitcoin. But if it's just going to do like kind of this, I don't know. I'm pretty comfortable holding my split bag of Bitcoin, ETH, and alts. And I think a more move down the line is if we rally to something like 47.5% here, right? Something like this. If it happens, I have a trade here, which is converting that Bitcoin into alts. Because that's what we saw the last 2 times, that Bitcoin dominance touched this resistance level here and here, where Bitcoin has had quite a bit of rally against alts, but it failed to break out above that level, right? So this will be a time where I might consider, putting more money into alts, not necessarily because I see it just continuing down like this right away, but because the risk reward here is really good. And the fact that once we touch this level, the invalidation is very clear, which is if we get a daily breakout above this level, then right here, I will move back into Bitcoin, right? So I'm only risking a few percent here for much larger reward, just in case that starts a major altcoin rally. So yeah, that's Bitcoin dominance. So far, really not much to say here, right? Within this range from 40% to 47.5, I would say just have a balanced portfolio of Bitcoin, ETH, and alts, and you're pretty good, regardless of what happens. If we break out above this range on a weekly, and maybe like 2-3 days above, right? If we do this, here you want to sell some of your alts into Bitcoin. And if we do something like this, then here you want to sell your Bitcoin for alts, right? Because this is reverse alt season, this is alt season, right? So until either of those cases happen, I don't really want to have too high conviction in which type of asset I position my portfolio in. Yeah, so don't worry about it too much, right? As long as you have overall exposure in Bitcoin, ETH, and alts, in this market, like, you can't lose. Just don't short, right? Don't be on the wrong side of the trend. Yeah, that's kind of, I think that's what I can say is actionable for Bitcoin dominance. Yeah, based on Bitcoin dominance. Okay, and then what else? So some individual plays that I've been watching, right? Since yesterday, there was the what's it called, Snowbank. That has pretty much completely left the station. On the stream, we got in at $150. It's now like $5,000. It's very, very rare case that this happens like that. I don't even know why. I did not expect something like this. But now what you're risking is like it's at very high market cap already. It's close to 300 million for this type of asset. So if you consider like competitions like Climate Owl, maybe like 1 billion. So you might get a 3x, but you also might get rugged. So I definitely would not be FOMOing into this here. Even though the APYs are super high, just for our listeners, I don't think this is a good idea. Because if you just consider the ROIs here, oh yeah, 75% gains for the next 5 days. But for what? Risking losing 100% of your entire stack? Not that worth it to me. So yeah, I'm not buying more. Definitely not. I do have a lot of this when we bought yesterday on stream. It was very lucky. I think quite a few of our DAO members got in also. Big props to you guys, and hope you're enjoying the gains. But I think we should move on from this. Like anything above, right? Any more gains is just cherry on top, right? You don't want to chase the cherry on top. You want to get the majority of the gains, which is being early. But now it's definitely not early anymore. You're kind of a sucker if you're just buying into this supposedly high APY percent, but while price could collapse anytime, right? So that's that. What else? Right. One really good play that I probably will do, and I think everyone can do, is farming Ronin chain with AXS and ETH. So bring that up. So Ronin chain is this new blockchain meant for NFTs and play to earn and crypto gaming. And it currently powers Axie Infinity, all of its transactions like microtransactions, play to earn. But they are releasing a separate blockchain with that Ronin RON token. And this chain, you can deploy like any sort of smart contract on there. Ethereum smart contracts, you can make your own games. It's seamlessly bridged to Ethereum, but it's much cheaper, much faster, right? It's meant for gaming, as proven by Axie Infinity's game. So right now, you can farm Ronin with AXS and ETH liquidity pool, or SLP liquidity pool. And I'll try to find that link for you guys, but you can just Google. Best is to just Google so you don't click on the wrong link. But here's kind of the breakdown. So basically, you can bridge your AXS ETH or SLP ETH over to the Ronin chain, right? Right here. And then by supplying liquidity to these two farms, you are getting Ronin tokens every day, right? Depending on how much you deposit. And this Ronin token and this Ronin chain is going to be very big, in my honest opinion. Because think of stuff like Immutable X that just launched, right? Which is a ZK rollup layer 2 for NFTs and play to earn crypto gaming, making it cheaper, faster, right? But supports assets on Ethereum. That is a later stage. It's not as advanced as this, because this supports any EVM. It's like very easy to use, integrates with MetaMask. I'm pretty sure, maybe. But by design, it's much simpler, much easier to use, and they have already Axie Infinity running on top of it. So Ronin chain is currently something like $6 billion market cap. I think. Sorry, Immutable X, right? And this is circulating market cap is pretty high. It's like 20% of that. So when Ronin launches, it should be higher market cap than Immutable X. So if you do all the math and you just look up this Twitter thread, you're basically looking at something like 600% APR right now to farm your AXX ETH or SLP ETH, right? And that's assuming Ronin doesn't grow, which I don't think that's the case, right? Like, let's say if this listed today, it'll probably be on Binance, right? ASS is on Binance, SLP is on Binance, right? They launch on Binance Labs. So if, let's say today we have this Ronin chain, separate blockchain meant for play to earn, made for Axie, but now open to all play to earn gaming, that's going to be a probably $10 billion project. And especially with the bull market raging, with how popular metaverse and gaming is, cryptos, over the next 3 months, that Ronin will only grow, right? Same as Axie and same as other metaverse coins. So knowing that, the actual effective APR, when you eventually get the rewards and the lists, is actually much higher. So that's why I think you should definitely consider farming this. Big props to Luke for walking through kind of the numbers for this with me. Now I'm like very convinced that I'm going to farm this. I haven't put the position in yet, but I see this as quite a no-brainer because first off, you have your main exposure in very trending coins and very safe coins, which is ETH, very safe coin, and AXS, very like the biggest NFT metaverse crypto gaming coin, right? It has been running up since like the May correction in Bitcoin, and it just doesn't stop, right? So it's a super good coin to hold for this kind of later stage in the bull market. So your AXS and ETH position itself will grow while it's in the farm, and you're farming RON, which is also probably going to grow as metaverse grows more and more. So yeah, I see this as a no-brainer, and Ronin is releasing 10% of all the supply into these pools, which is quite generous, and it's going to be unlocked day one, right? As far as I read. Let's see. Once deposit liquidity, that token will then have to be staked in the farm tab. You can qualify for RON rewards. Rewards are issued as wrap Ronin token, and it's the same contract only except ERC20. RON rewards or LP stickers will be claimable at a later date. This will also coincide with the launch of the RON ETH pool for swapping RON tokens. So yeah, this will probably be claimable and listed in about 3 months or 90 days or so. So yeah, or maybe not even. It might even be earlier than that. We don't know. But point is this is really good. Yeah, I see this as like because I in this part of the bull market, it's not really about what's fundamentally all so cool that you invest in, because we're all here to ride this last wave, right? Which might be 2 months, might be 6 months, might be a year. I don't know. But I really have to kind of consider what I allocate my portfolio in, right? And there's a few niches that I think is going to outperform. Yeah, metaverse, crypto gaming, right? And then like Ohm forks. So I see like big upside potential for Ohm and some of its good forks like Redacted Butterfly. But for the metaverse ones, and then maybe Polkadot, right? But seeing this, I've done some comparison, like kind of just based on the return I can expect in comparison to like Polkadot parachains. I know it's completely different tech, but we're just talking about potential return. This is better, right? Because think about it. Let's say like Astar and Moonbeam, right? Akala and Moonbeam, right? They'll probably raise $1 billion plus. So that's looking like something like both projects in the range of like $10 billion project valuation, right? A listing. And they're distributing 10 to 30%, right? So you're getting about like a all your money back in the dot, plus maybe one more of your initial investment at the listing, maybe. So you're looking at maybe 2x your initial investment at the listing time. That's pretty fair. While what are you betting on? You're betting on Polkadot ecosystem and Dot, which I don't think is going to outperform a liquidity pool position in AXS and ETH. It's just straight up. I don't know, but I don't think so. It'll probably be similar. And then the main thing there is like a lot of these stuff with lockups and later stage distribution, you have to consider how much you're potentially giving up, even in stuff like Moonbeam, Akala. Yeah, they're very big. They're super legit projects. But let's say bear market comes, right, in a year, pretty reasonable. You would still have half your, Akala and Moonbeam tokens locked up. So you're giving up quite a bit to only be able to take profit at a later stage, right? Whereas with something like this, you can farm it right now. And in 3 months, which I think is a perfect time to get unlocks, even if you sell right at listing, it's going to be a really, really good time, right? Because you're looking at like January, late December, January, which typically is like peak bull market, right? So looking at that alone, I think this timing and unlock schedule and what you want to be positioned in trumps like the type of fundamental analysis you can do, right? So right now, I really want to be in the positions where it's very liquid, and if it's a later stage launch, I don't want it to be longer than 3-4 months, because I think anything after 3-4 months, assuming we continue this crazy run up, is going to be very iffy if it just like is still that good. I think that's less than 50% chance, right, that the market is, if it continues like this. So yeah, that's why I'm mostly trying to do like more like secondary marketplace, like already liquid tokens, like the own forks, where I can cash out anytime. And then for stuff that's a few months down the line, maximum 3 months, I'm willing to participate. But for stuff that still required 1-2 year lockup, no matter how good it is, you really have to start considering like, how long do I see this continue going, right? And how do I optimize for that? Because for all intents and purposes, you could reap your benefits from this, sell at the bull market top if you think it's going to end in 3-4 months, and then like a year from now, in the bear market, you just accumulate Akala and Moonbeam back. You might make much more money that way, right? So it doesn't, just because you don't get into something in a very long lockup doesn't mean you miss out on the whole opportunity. It really depends on unlock schedule, what's best for your money right now, and how you see the market kind of playing out in the next few months. So yeah, this is why I'm actually very, very bullish on this. I think this is a particularly good opportunity. That's a bit of waiting period, but not too long, and just the right time, I think. Yeah. So that's Axie and Ronin chain farm. Yeah, I think this is a really good. So I'll be putting a lot of money into this, farming Ronin, not buying, right? Farming it. You can't even buy it right now, which is a good thing. It also forces you to just kind of wait until a later stage in the bull market, where you can actually reap the benefits. So yeah, that's that. I don't think there are too many individually interesting plays. Obviously, all the stuff that I talked about on my Twitter, right, the pinned post, I think all of those are still good, right? Joe signups, Ice, Bell, Om Time, Tempo Climber, Dot Parachains, Parallel, Grow DAO, Chess, Ribbon, Lemma, these things. But again, these are all fundamentally really sound projects, but more time goes on, the more I start to see like even Joe, right? Joe is seeing extreme adoption right now with it actually just flipped volume. It just flipped SushiSwap's volume, but it's trading at like 1/10 the market cap. What is that telling us? It's telling us that like it's in a weird time that the fundamental adoption isn't driving much. It's more about exchanges, hype, how accessible the project is, actually how people's perception of it, and kind of all the gains are being stop at kind of the most accessible coins right now. They don't really even flow into the underlying ecosystem as much. For example, AVAX has actually outperformed Joel now. I did not expect this to happen, but it is doing it. So that is, I don't think it's a bad sign. But I do think I have to act on it and change my kind of thesis a little bit, because this is kind of an invalidation signal, which is you see Joel $2, but if you look at like Joel's price against AVAX, you'll see quickly see what I mean. Here, if you look at this and then you compare like the pair against AVAX, fuck, this site is so bad. Charter, let me bring that up. Sorry guys, someone's doing their doing the lawn. Joel, wrap AVAX, here we go. And you see like this is not a good chart. This is telling us that Joe is not outperforming AVAX. Quite the contrary. It's kind of in the head and shoulders right here against AVAX. When it was up here, it was still fine, but since then it has made this lower high. Definitely not a good sign. And you see this across the board, right? With Phantom outperforming like Spirit Swap, Boo Swap, Spooky Swap. What are some other major plays? Like yeah, basically like all the top ecosystems are still running. Solana is another good example. If you compare like Solana, right, which we all know is like literally parabolic, like doesn't stop its run, like this, right? But if you look at its performance, let's say since September, right, it's just a small dip, but never really made a higher lower low, but just continued to rally, consolidated, continued to rally. But if you look at the top projects, even supported by Solana Foundation, and even like FTT Exchange coin is underperforming Solana, right? If you look at last 180 days, like this is pretty much just consolidating since this peak, right? September 9th, consolidated. Solana has run up, like from the peak has been up 50% already. FTT hasn't even gone up above that peak. Same thing if you look at like Serum, the top like DEX protocol on Solana, like the Uniswap of Solana. Not great. You see, same thing. Since this peak, just been underperforming. Very many other examples, Radium, the top like actual decentralized exchange on Solana, same thing. Nothing's happening right here. So people are trying to bet on, oh yeah, like this thing is so undervalued. Solana is continuing to run. Like let's bet on the undervalued play right now. But you're missing the point. It was the case if, let's say, Solana just broke out and these things are following and it's like a week behind. But when it's 3 months behind, that's not something you want to bet on. You want to bet on the projects that are actually running and leading the way. And so far, across pretty much every single layer one ecosystem, it's the main layer one coin that's running, not the underlying projects, not the DEXs that's running. There's no exception. Like, I really can't think of any. So yes, Joe is super undervalued, but this chart is garbage against AVAX. Is Joe going to go up in dollar price? Probably, but you're missing the point. You're taking on, again, more risk for less reward by like being in Joe versus instead of AVAX here. So yeah, have to shift my thesis here. With most of these pinned plays here, right? This is October 21st. This was before this higher, lower high was made, right? I fully expected this pump to take out the high, but it didn't, right? So now, instead of doing, let's say, Joe versus AVAX, I need to do AVAX, right? And other chains as well. Like, if you are bullish on any particular chain, I would say get the chains token instead of the chain's gems. Unless you're super early and you get into the whitelist IDO or something. If you're not doing that, ecosystem projects are underperforming their layer one coins. So very, very important trend that's developing. And don't be on the wrong side of this. Yeah, so yeah, I think that's super good alpha. That's super important. Yeah, I think that the top chains like Solana, Luna, AVAX, what's it called? Phantom, Near, even Harmony, Algorand, Elrond, Dot Kusama. Dot Kusama is weird, right? Because it's like also technically layer ones, like Moonbeam is layer one. But a better example is if you are bullish on Moonbeam and you're bullish on Dot, you should probably get a mixed bag of Dot and Moonbeam and Glimmer token instead of the top DEX on Moonbeam, because most likely the top DEX is going to underperform Moonbeam token. Before that even happens, before the coin even comes out, I can pretty much make that connection already and tell you that what the play is there. So yeah, that's how I'm positioning myself. I wish it weren't like this, because if it takes more fundamental research, I have more edge there. I understand these things. I have a lot of time, but it is what it is. Like, retail's coming in and they have access to the coins on fucking Coinbase and Binance, and the Joe is not on Binance. Joe is like nowhere to be found. So people can't really bridge over to AVAX. They hear of what's happening on AVAX and they just buy AVAX coin. They don't actually use it. So yeah, that's what's happening. At the end of the day, we're not here to always try to be right. Like, we are right. Joe is undervalued, right? Volume is growing. User base is growing. But we're not betting on the volume. We're betting on the price. There are other factors to price. And truly the only factor is supply and demand, right? So yes, there is more demand when it comes to volume growing, user base growing, demand for Joe, right? But at the same time, there's way more buying demand just from AVAX, like Binance futures. People just are like, being very degen and not trying the platform. And that that demand is just growing faster than the actual user adoption of Joe. And that's why you see AVAX outperforming Joe. So yes, we are right, but we are also right to clearly recognize that the layer one native coins are seeing faster demand growth than the underlying projects. So do not be stubborn. I'm not going to continue being stubborn. For layer ones, I'll just bet on layer ones. I'm not going to go into the deeper ecosystems unless I think it's super early and I can get into something of a token sale, right? Yeah, so that's that. Yeah, aside from that, I don't have much more to say. Let's go into questions. I think that's a good place to kickstart questions. Check out Discord first. So, Have you looked into relaunch of ICE, the decent APRs? I haven't. Let me check that out real quick. Popsicle.finance. Might have spelled it wrong. So this is a Uni v3 aggregator, right? Made by Daniel Sesta and team. This is cool. Optimizer v3 to promote. What's the APR like for this right now? I want to see. Connect wallet. Please wait. Maybe I have to take this Brave shield off. Come on. Whatever. Okay, I'll come back to this in a bit. What was the min play? Snowbank, we already covered it. It's pretty overheated right now. Acceleration up also means high volatility. Yes, absolutely. PokerSwap rug pull 68% down in a minute. What the fuck? Never mind. Found the reasons CoinGecko that only uses Uniswap. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Yeah, good on you for doing research. What's your exit for Squid DAO, by the way? Something like just when it catches up to the ratio of Ohm forks. So Olympus or Ohm is around market cap to the treasury ratio is around 9. Squid DAO is like around 6, I think. Maybe less. I think it's like 5. So market cap and treasury can both grow, but once it becomes like 8, 9, something like that, I think it'll be fairly valued. Oh, as in like it can continue to grow, but the growth rate will probably be similar to Olympus's growth rate at that point. By which time, it probably makes more sense. If you're overall bullish in this niche, you might as well just sell your Squid, go into Olympus, right? So it's not at that stage yet. So yeah, you don't have to take my word for it. You can look at the analytics for Olympus, Time, Clima, and then like Squid, and see that market cap versus treasury, Squid is like much smaller. So once that ratio reaches at least something like Olympus, I'll probably take profit. And like, if I want to continue betting on this niche, I'd probably put something in Olympus and then try to find if there's any other good use cases. And I think Butterfly Redacted is a good one. Farming Ron, yeah, here we go. Here's a good example. If you're part of our Discord, you already have a full guide. Thank you, Keegan. All thanks to Luke as well, yes. Luke is the one that really put me onto this. I trusted the opinion a lot. This is what a professional trade sounds like. Got a long way to go. It's like I said, like I don't even know if I can survive until 12K ETH, 150K Bitcoin. I'm mentally prepared, but I don't know what's gonna happen. So the only thing I can do right now is like tune back my expectations and de-risk my position size and start to have plans so that when it actually becomes more and more crazy, I might be able to survive, but I don't know if I can survive. Right? I nobody knows. It's very, very risky. So I got wiped out quite a lot in 2018, early 2018, like later stage of the bull market. This is my second time. In that run, I didn't make much. I didn't have much money either. It's a tiny bit of money, but I peaked and then I only made out with about 25%. Because I was doing like the opposite of like what I should have been doing, which was like as it went up more and more, I took on more and more risk. I got more and more confident. But walk that concept through with yourself, right? Assume that nothing goes up forever. This is like 100% true. Nothing goes up forever. But assuming nothing goes up forever, if as it goes up more and more, your expectation and your euphoria only goes up, then the only outcome in that case is full despair, complete wreck, right? So that makes perfect sense, right? So you don't know how much it can go up, You don't know what's a good percentage like to put in. But you do know that if you increasingly get more and more bullish as price goes up more and more, the only outcome is you're losing all your money. That we do know, right? So we don't know when, we don't know where, but you cannot have that like that kind of mindset. So that's something I think it's will help people a lot. Walk through that process with yourself. Yeah. What are your most trusted sources of crypto news? Pretty much getting it early on Twitter and then verifying, just doing a lot of Googling. I don't really, yeah, if it's on a news outlet already, it's mostly journalism. It's mostly entertainment. Like you gotta understand, every crypto news company is owned by some firm or either a firm which has like major interest in all kinds of coins or a coin itself. So there pretty much is none. Yeah. Have you heard of an opinion on Zookeeper? I don't. I don't have an opinion. How do you find new chains? By that I mean layer one projects. Just go on CoinGecko and then there's a tab called Smart Contract Platform. If you just open up like Ethereum, you see a tag for Smart Contract Platform. Click into that category, you'll see all of them. And then you have to do the research for like which ones are actually EVM compatible and layer one, etc. Will you buy any crypto funks? I'm kind of thrown off guard by the whole funks thing. Jake, I see you have a left punk. I don't know. I wanted to buy punks for the longest time, but I don't know how I feel about this funks movement. I really don't know. This is one thing that is kind of getting me more bullish on apes. Yeah. Like I don't know enough. I haven't done enough like research, but maybe apes are just like more friendly towards derivative work, and punks aren't. In which case, it would be pretty weird. But my plan was always to accumulate like the original punks in bear market. That was part of my plan, but now, and I was hesitant on including bakes in there, but now with this funks thing, I might need to hold both punks and apes to get that NFT collectible exposure in bear market. Yeah, so I'll probably own both. If you want to ask how I feel about them, I wish funks wasn't a thing, because I don't really care about the work aspect. To be honest with you, I care about its price appreciation. It's completely honest, right? So not hating on what you're doing. I think it's great cost, but is it at a great cost for Punk's price? Not really. It's probably not a good thing for Punk's price. So for that, I'm not too happy. I do understand kind of the narrative though. Thoughts on DAG? Not too much. Like it's been showed a lot on TikTok. What's your definition of survive? Not get wiped 80% in a day. Trust me, tons of people will get that in the next 3 months. Ton of people will get that. Rebullish on projects that hold certain patents in the space, Dragon Chain Robbability or reward patent. Not really, no. Thoughts on Phantom doing a 6x before BTC collapses in late December. That sounds like fucking voodoo, dude. Like, how do you know it's going to do a 6x and BTC is going to collapse in December, late December? Sounds like you're fortune telling, dude. Tempo at the OTC price of $2.9 is 6x RFE while Squid is at 9x, OMA 21x, Climb at 69x. Does this mean should be moving out of Climb? Yes. I'm not too bullish on Climber right now. If I were to take a bet on like overall Ohm ecosystem, Olympus forks, I will be mostly in Ohm and some in Squid. I think Squid will catch up in the short term, but I'll probably be mostly in Ohm, and then like waiting for Butterfly Redacted DAO. I think Climb is very overvalued. Not very overvalued, but not that great of a bet right now. Again, we covered it like way back, even before the LBP. So tons of people made tons of money from it already. So what would your advice be for people with low capital, 5K or less value portfolio? Not really much in the specific advice. Not really. Like 5K, 5 million. Difference is not as big as you would think. Like when it comes to real execution, market's pretty liquid at this point. Yeah. You can try to shoot for the moon, but that's not really just because you have low capital, you should shoot for the moon, right? If you have 5 million, you can still shoot for the moon, go for 100 million, right? It just depends on your goal. So if you're asking about how can I shoot for the moon, then I don't know. Like we talk about a lot of these strategies already on the call. I think layer ones and layer one's DEX ecosystem is not a shoot for the moon type of thing anymore. I think Ohm forks are good. Axie Ronin is good. You can try to compound that, those kind of two gains. But aside from that, you just got to be like super active on Twitter and be in projects early, which is very difficult now. Like Mirror Circle launched. We thought it was going to be a very small launch, but it launched at $2 billion. It's just crazy. I thought you could moon with that. You couldn't. So really not that many moon opportunities now, unless you're like super degen, right? So I don't know what to say. Like it's quite hard to moon at this point. Yeah. I can't even find, like, I think the Snowbank thing was super lucky. I did not expect this at all. I expected maybe like 2-3x max. So I'll be really happy already because those kind of opportunities in the short term is not that many. Yeah, everything's people flooding into every opportunity. There hasn't been much price action on DAO. I was expecting more, to be honest, so close to the auctions. I know, like DOT is weird, right? That's why I say the DOT lockup might underperform AXS wrapped ETH, right? So another case to be bullish on the Ronin farming strategy. Curious if still hanging on to Smarter. I had a little bit left. I sold that for Squid. I would love to see it be big, but it's kind of just, it's fun. You can continue farming it. I'm pretty sure you can make a tiny profit if you compound, but I don't know. I dip in and out of that kind of. Yeah, I'm not too convinced on it currently. What's your advice when a coin hit price discovery like AVAX $9 right now? Take Fibonacci. You don't take Fibonacci. That's a meme. I'd say like AVAX. You can look at like valuation, right? AVAX should be like alongside, DOT, Cardano, what is something else? Luna, Solana. Yeah, it's seeing a lot of adoption. So you can look at kind of market cap target, but Fibonacci it's just random. Yeah. But usually, right, when it's in price discovery, new price discovery, let's bring up a chart really quick. When it's AVAX, I think like previous all-time high was like 75, something like that. No. AVAX USDT 75, yeah. So you see like every time that it does a new price discovery like this, breaks out above here, you see this daily candle here. This here is the breakout retest, right? And if you just go into like kind of 4 hour, much clearer, right? You had a couple of days to enter right around the breakout retest. So this is what you do, right? You actually double down when it's breakout retest right here, right? Because yes, it's way worse than buying down here, but here, what do you have? When you enter in when it does breakout retest, you can just set a very like clear stop loss somewhere there, even lower, so that you limit your downside, right? Because if this daily candle here, right, when it broke above 75, it didn't bounce. Instead, it like rolled back down. You would know that this is a fake out. In which case, you clearly want to take profit and exit, right? Because like that would be like kind of this double top, and fake out, it would clearly head to much lower. So yeah, points like here would be like where you want to take another position with a clear stop loss. Now that it's in price discovery, yeah, you can scale in more because this move is now confirmed, but you gotta consider where your downside is, right? Which is like, even if it dips right now 15% towards $75, that's healthy. It's 100% healthy. It would just be a new breakout retest, another one. You cannot be shaken out by that. So you need to limit your kind of how you're taking it and your portfolio size to this kind of potential short-term swing, right? So that's what you do. But now that it's in price discovery, direction is up, right? It's going to swing more, but direction is up. So yeah, but there is no strategy that can give you like, oh, that it's in price discovery now, so I just like put way more money in and not be scared. You will be scared. So this is clearly way more risky than the fresh breakout retest here. So take that for what you will, right? You have to adjust kind of how much you put in. Building on this, do you prefer to ladder out? If so, how do you determine relative percentages between targets? Not really. No. Percentages is a meme. Whole numbers is a meme. You just continue writing this until trend breaks, right? Which is we talked about it many times, right? Higher highs, higher lows, right? So this is a higher high. If this breaks below here I would exit. If it does like this, right? And then at some point, I don't know when, it might be $130, it might be $500, it might be $10,000. We don't know. It's not really a good idea to think of it that way. But when it makes, like, let's say, makes a high and then doesn't make a higher low and then makes a equal high or a lower high, and especially if it breaks the previous low like that, here you exit, right? That might happen at 140, that might happen at way up here, might happen like $3,000. We just don't know, right? Nobody knows. So that's what you do. So I don't know. I don't really have a very clear percentage as to like, oh, if it drops this much, I exit, because that's blindly guessing. So yeah, not really. And also for individual coins like this, also you got to consider, okay, this is a big coin, but most of it is driven by the larger market, which is Bitcoin. So I also don't look at the individual TA for these. In a bull market, I can use it to find entry opportunities. For example, like breakout retest right here, right at 55, which we talked about. Breakout retest at 75, right? I can use them to find entry points, but when it comes to take profits, I probably just do like when Bitcoin, makes a lower high and breaks down from its uptrend, then I just take profit from all alts because I have to. Individually, it's not that useful. Yeah, not that useful to look at the individual chart and just say, oh, this peaked. Not that useful. Yeah. You are 20% liquid in money, which is for crypto. In which coin would you invest now? Nothing. I would invest in USDT. Yeah. check out Mist or ENTR. What's ENTR? Wait, what's Mist? Is that Alchemist? Hold on. Alchemist, yeah. Alchemist is good DeFi coin. They're doing a lot of cool stuff. Unless you mean this Mist game. What's ENTR? The fuck is this? What is this? Where is it listed? Sushi at MXC. How long? Okay, 2 months. Not bad. 1 month. What is this? You better not show it. If this is a show, you're getting banned. Not sure what this is. New markets within the Web3 metaverse economy. Landworks and Meta Portal as well as NFT drop called Meta. Okay. So it's a builder's DAO, kind of like Alchemist. Yeah, okay. I see why you recommend these two together. Decent. This is the first time I'm hearing about this coin, so I'll do more research. Thank you for that. Pretty clear that it's not a shill. So still bullish on Temple DAO. Yeah. Why does it fucking matter if I'm bullish or not? It's like I don't run it. I don't drive the price. Make your own decision, bro. Low level DAO, yeah. I think it's good. Like these builder DAOs are pretty good. Again, not really trending. I don't think many people even understand it. So yeah. Missed what you said on this. Thoughts on Dent? What the fuck is Dent? Dentacoin, you mean? Oh my god, bro. Dent Wireless. What is this? Hold on. Oh my god. It's on Binance. Holy shit. What? What is this? What is this? Your new digital and global mobile operator. What? Where does this even fit? I don't see which narrative this fits in. This probably fits in the TikTok paid show narrative. Yeah, if you're talking about it. I bet if I go on TikTok, I can probably find some videos about Dent, about DVG, VXV, QNT. KDA, yeah, I'll probably find a ton of these coins that have like no product, not really, but like so easy to understand, real world adoption. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a big fan. Not saying price won't go up though. If you can get a lot of shills for a coin, it goes up, and that's kind of the point, which is like we want it to go up. We want to buy coins that go up. So yeah, but I'm not too familiar with who's showing what nowadays, so I don't know. That's all I can say. I can't really necessarily say it's bad, but yeah, I personally have never researched this or seen anyone do fundamental research on it. So yeah. Are you comfortable being 100% in positions, no fiat? That's kind of most of the time for me. You'd be surprised how convinced I am about crypto. Do you measure things weekly or daily better? Pretty much the same. Both. I would say weekly closest and then daily to confirm. There is no one that's better. Like if you are looking at longer term, you just look at daily. If you look weekly, daily and weekly. If you're looking at shorter term, you look at 4 hour, 1 hour. It just depends on like how much what your time frame is. There is no particular time frame that's better because it's just the same. They're pretty much all the same, just in different scale. Did he say he would invest in USDT? Yes, I did. Yeah, you're super late to Snowbank, so I definitely would not recommend aping in now. Definitely a bad idea. Do you still hold a long-term bag of Chainlink? No, I do not. I have not been holding Chainlink for like a year, probably. When are you joining a Terra ecosystem? I don't know. I might get some Luna, but just like what I talked about, I think that's more than enough of exposure. I don't actually need to join the ecosystem. Parachain option strategy, just monitor how much each project is raising, and then based on the reward percentage of total supply, you deduce, like calculate what the market cap is that you're going in at, and then go from there, right? See which ones are much lower than the others. And if they're all super high, then you don't go in. Yeah. Do you expect for DOT to sell the news this Thursday? I don't think so. No. It hasn't gone up that much. Really haven't gone up that much. And this is bull market. You don't want to be betting on price going down. For DOT, nah. And plus, it's like one parachain. If you think it ends this Thursday, like you're mistaken. People need to use that until March. So yeah. Okay, checking out YouTube questions. Let's see it. 1 sec. Do you think Snowbank is a scam? The APY is insane. I mean, if you don't understand Ohm, you should treat it as a scam. Poker Markets has been doing well since the DOT options, considering DOT projects. Yeah, it's pretty good. Pretty good. Poker Markets, Poker Swap, Pokedex, like Reef, Clover, these things like Kala, RMRK. Yeah, all pretty good projects on Polkadot ecosystem. What indicators do you use to trade daily, and which ones do you use to buy and sell long term? I don't use any indicators to buy and sell long term. Not individually. I use RSI to spot potential divergences. I use open interest to see if a trend is, again, also like to confirm trend, or if trend is weakening and diverging. I actually look at a lot of funding rate and long short accounts ratio, and like open, like order book stuff. EMA just as kind of a meme to know, like, okay, when has it dropped too much? But like I use EMA like maybe once every 6 months when it actually drops that much. How you take profit apart from comparing the valuation? What else can you do? You just decide on a level that you're happy with, and you take profit. And also, if you start to see the trend break down, where you start making lower highs and lower lows, you take profit. Yeah. Where do you think Moon River is going in 2 to 3 months? I don't know. Up, but is it going to outperform Glimmer? I don't know. I think it can stay at like 1/3 of KSM price market cap. So if KSM goes up, it probably will go up. Moon River is pretty decent bet, but like, is it particularly way better than other layer ones? No, and especially with Moonbeam launching, I think it's weakening its narrative. Can you TA Blocktopia? I cannot. It's like super pumped. It's literally super pumped. Do you agree that Poly is undervalued? Polygon? Yeah. It's about time that Polygon has a run. Yeah. Especially with NFTs, with a lot of metaverse gaming is built on Polygon. It's kind of like an interim solution because they have pretty good integration with OpenSea. So I think BSC and Polygon are about to see their day, because they were like the first ones to really pop in layer one, and they kind of cool down while everything else ran. So yeah, I could see that. Solana may have the same fate as BNB Moon, then achieve some ratio with ETH, then stay in line with ETH's performance. Yeah, until it starts running again, right? That's kind of why I think BNB is like pretty decent right now. BNB and Polygon has been just chilling for like 3-4 months probably. Let's see. Maybe that's probably a good ratio to look at. BNB ETH. Yeah, this is interesting. Good chart actually. Good, interesting chart. So we have like, yeah, we have this range, and then probably higher level here. Yeah. So the main run up was like beginning of the year, right, when BSC gained against ETH as it took off as a smart contract platform, and then it like peaked in April and just been sideways. So I could see this happening. Yeah, BNB ETH. Ideally, I wanted to clear here first. I would say, yeah, BNB ETH. Otherwise, like you when you bet on layer ones, you wanted to outperform ETH. That's true. That's a good point. So if you look at like Sol ETH, yeah, like you said, this is up only, right? Uptrend. If you look at like Sol AVAX, AVAX ETH probably is also uptrend. Yeah, pretty good. At least right here, this is better looking than Binance, BNB. We saw the BNB chart. Let's look at like Matic ETH. Yeah, see, Matic ETH ever since May. We probably have a better chart. USDT, ETH, USDT, Binance. Yeah, this is very similar to the chart of BNB ETH, which is like this range, right? Ever since like peak beginning of the year, right? It's just had major run up since February all the way up to April, May, and then just kind of consolidate sideways. I would probably put that there. So currently Matic is losing against ETH still right here. But let's say if we get a breakout above this range, here will be a really good point of entry for Matic and Polygon. Yeah, could see that happening. I don't think it happened yet, but BNB and Polygon have a huge adoption. That's definitely very true. So keep an eye out. Not saying I go buy it right now because currently it's losing in price, but I will watch these. Yeah, they will have their rotations. So that's actually really good point. Cosmos has been a bit slow. What do you think? Let's see, Cosmos. Yeah, it's one of those layer ones that Cosmos has been always weird. Every time I try to trade its breakout retest, it cocks me. So I don't know. I'm pretty hesitant to trade Cosmos half the time, like this breakout retest play right here. If it comes down, I'd rather just be on Solana, Luna, AVAX, even though they are running like this. You want them to be running and just buy on the dips instead of it like, oh, we broke out, but actually maybe not. We might come back down. This is a sign of weakness, right? So something like Harmony, I think, is also similar. No, Harmony, yeah, Harmony is even showing better days. Higher low right here, right? So, so you don't really want to bet on the weaklings. Yeah, so I don't know. Still hesitant on Cosmos. I probably just take Solana, Luna, AVAX. Yeah. What are your thoughts on what the fuck is TLM? Harmony pretty decent layer one. It's still, this uptrend is quite clear to me here. This is pretty clear here. So yeah, pretty clear. Just like higher lows across the board. Right. So nothing bad to say about it. Like if you like its tech, what kind of directions they're doing, like it's similar bet to like AVAX and Luna, and yeah, it's a little bit weaker than Luna, I would say. A little bit weaker, way weaker than Solana, but about the same kind of performances. I guess just behind AVAX, maybe. Yeah. And maybe just behind Phantom also. Yeah, Phantom chart is very similar to that of AVAX, of Harmony. It's like not in pure price discovery yet, but like higher lows for sure. So yeah. Still holding grow or not? I've been waiting for the pump on Bitcoin, right? Like this is my plan is when it's truly like parabolic after Bitcoin pump, I would try to get positioned in all these, but I didn't. This wasn't that. Oh, like I have all these right now, hodl till their life. That's not. That wasn't the case in the first place. So no, I don't have any grow right now. Now that you know the dots raised for each product, you don't know. You don't know. You don't know until they close. So yeah, it's continuing rising. Block or knockout or man, I've never heard of those. Blocktopia has pumped a lot, so not a good idea. I'm out of Tractor Joe. Yes, it wasn't really doing much. Kind of a meme still. Do you switch Sign for AVAX too? Yeah. Well, Synapse is bridge play. It's not really AVAX ecosystem. It didn't start on AVAX. It started on BSC. Qtum is super legacy chain, not good. I think ETH fees will go down soon. Probably not. Do you think Akala and Moonbeam are worth looking into dots too? Yeah. You still need to look at how much they actually raise, but yeah. Pretty worth it if it's not too high amount they raise. I have no idea what the fuck this is. Seek VR. Farming SLP for Ron has been greater potential in the short term versus dot pair chain Crowdloan. That's what I see. I don't. I'm farming AXS. I wouldn't farm the SLP pool. Have you analyzed the XRP chart on stream? No, I have not. Stackhost is a decentralized. Oh shit! Here comes the shows. What time frame do you use on the RSI? If you're talking about that, you're using RSI wrong. There is no time frame. If you're trying to spot a divergence on the 4 hour, you use the 4 hour RSI. If you're trying to spot divergence on daily, you use daily RSI. But the fact that you're talking about time framing on RSI, you're using it as like overbought and oversold, that doesn't work. That does not work at all. So would you consider AVAX as decentralized? Yeah, decently decentralized. Akala has already raised 500 million. What amount would you be the deal breaker? Probably like 1.5. At that point, it's like, what the hell am I doing? Let's see. Let's give it a quick look. Have you ever staked time on Wonderland? Yeah, quite a while back, but yeah, have stopped doing that for a while. I don't know if I should convert to time and stake. You make your own decision, dude. You see how much you like the project. It's a good project, but it's not necessarily going to outperform AVAX. Just saying. So okay, Akala has raised 500 million. Yeah. Let's say if it's like 1.7 billion, this would be 10 billion launch. 1.7. Let's give it a whole number. 1.7. Not saying that that's the peak. Oh, at launch is gonna dump. No, you probably still make quite decent money. But if it's like above 10 billion launching price, I probably would just put that money into farming Ronin instead. Trezor 100%, not Ledger. I use both for a long time. Ledger's garbage, straight up. It has wasted like weeks and weeks of my time just because the connection doesn't work with MetaMask. It's fucking trash. Do not buy Ledger. Fucking trash. And like we've tagged them so many times. Like so many people have gotten mad. It's just they would make an update, it will work for a week. They make another update, it breaks. New update works, new update breaks. It's fucking ridiculous. I'm honestly like super mad that about at Ledger, and I have on my Ledger I have like 2,000 transactions. I've been a Ledger user since like early 2018, I think. This recently like on EVM chains, it's just fucking trash. Hate it. Doesn't work. There is not still time for Snowbank. You should skip. It's too high now. Ledger fucking trash. I wish I can do that, man. Just fucking just so dumb. Like it's crazy to think that they're so popular still. Like it's just unacceptable when like I connect to MetaMask and I remember it's like I was trying to like stake time on AVAX and then like I would try like 3 times a day, unplug, plug the cable, unplug, plug, and then sometimes after 10 minutes, randomly a window pops up for me to confirm transaction. Fuck you, like fix your shit, seriously. And it's been that way for like 4 months, so can't recommend anymore. Like been long enough. How to move your crypto with you overseas? You bring the Trezor with you. Okay, I think that's it. Questions are pretty much done. Have you bought a dot for auctions yet? I have not. Getting a working Nano X with functional battery is impossible. Really? Well, why? Where do you live? No, they sell a ton of those. I have so many, but I don't use them. I wanted to give them to friends. I didn't because I don't want to make them hate me. So imagine like a newcomer, right? Fucking setting up Ledger Live, and then like it's confusing enough that they have to connect to MetaMask and like, oh shit, what's this gas fee? And then half the time they click, nothing happens. Imagine that. That'd be insane. And they would have no idea where to debug. They'll be like, oh shit, it's okay. Does it not work for BSC? Wait, it worked this time. What's going on? Like it's turning so many people away, Ledger. The battery doesn't work, it overheats tons of users. Really? Okay. Mine doesn't overheat. But yeah. She protocol. Chico talked about it. Okay, maybe that's worth a look. Hold on. What is it about? Let's see real quick here. Maybe it's alpha. What? There's like nothing there. Chico? I can't find anything. Are you sure you're talking about the right thing? Oh, here's a thing. Chico Crypto XI protocol. Blockchain leaks. Do they even have Twitter? Like, where do I find information? What's going on? Part of Unizen. Stake what? Stake Zcoin? What is this? Huh? I don't understand. I might look into it more. Thank you for that. Hey, hold on. Well, I don't know. I'll watch the Chico video right after this, and I'll see if I can dig up something. XI token on CoinGecko. Uniswap. been out since a long time ago. Chico started showing it, probably. Markup 650. What? What the fuck is all this? What is going on here? Gamma protocol.io. Oh my god. Cool site, but Gamma protocol, Beta protocol, XI protocol. What the fuck is going on? Very cool site, but I have zero clue what this is doing. So they have a Twitter. Okay. Twitter. Geometric energy. The fuck? GEC is an intellectual property manufacturing logistics firm that invents energy technology, delivers medical devices, and software. What? Is this even the right Twitter? What? Chico on some weird shit, dude. I have no idea what this is doing. Okay. Okay. Cool. I mean, he's into EWT and he was right about that. So maybe something here. I'll look into this. Thank you for that. Definitely weird. Okay. I'll give this a look. Zookeeper. What the fuck is this? What is this? Bitroo. Can you at least get an exchange, please? What kind of exchange is Bitroo? It's been parabolic though. Like, can't really say it's undervalued here. I don't know if that's accurate. And it's a DOF Finance, so it's a app instead of a chain. So you said it's on one chain, right? Gamification of yield farming on one chain, right? Yeah. So it's so leading DeFi, DEX. It's probably a DEX, probably a farm yield aggregator here, right? Gamified on one chain, valuation. Yeah, I don't know. One chain needs to be EVM compatible. That's kind of main thing. And even then, like I said with the earlier, analysis, is if you're bullish on one chain, just get one chain. Don't get one chain DEX, because that has not worked well. That has not worked out well. Yeah, in no case did that work well. So unless you're super early, I don't think you're super early looking at this chart. So yeah, I don't think you're super early. I think you're picking up the bags here. So thank you for that though. Yeah, appreciate it. Cool. I think that's it. That's about it. That's my time. Thank you for joining. Check out Ronin. It's pretty no-brainer. 3 months, easy gains. Yeah. Stay safe. Don't wreck yourself in the big swings coming up. Join BaconDAO Discord. Link below. Subscribe to our YouTube. We stream Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. Yeah, that's about it. Yeah. Hope you all can make some money. I'll see you guys on Wednesday. Bye, guys. Cheers.